In Poland today, women hold over 40% of managerial roles, yet fewer than 20% reach boardrooms. So, do you think the system here in Poland is forcing women to harden up in order to succeed?
I think my understanding of the system in Poland is that it's promoting women to those roles, to give them the chance to meet, let's say, men where they're at in terms of that 40%, which I think is a great thing.
Right? Of course.
So I think it's a good thing that the system works in their favor, saying and with the help of the European Union to help present women with these roles. What I think maybe the side effect of that is that are these women prepared for the stress that this comes with and the chronic fatigue that this comes with? And from stats as well, what I've seen is that in Poland, 1 in 5 women actually reports feeling stressed on a daily basis. And when you feel stressed on a daily basis, that turns into chronic stress, and that affects your metabolism, that affects your energy levels, that affects your sleep. So that comes with some consequences. And then my question would be like, are these women equipped enough to handle that when they, for example, might also have husbands and children, or they might have a demanding family life where they have to attend to their family members? So are they equipped to be handling those stress levels at work whilst also performing in their personal life?
So what are you saying here? Like, should they suppress their femininity, or? Yes. This show hasn't been canceled.
Do you want to repeat that?
No, I like this part. Okay. So I think that's a nice segue to the masculine versus feminine energy. You mentioned that 40% is great to have top, because you made it sound like these women are not ready for this stress. Is that true, or am I tripping?
So that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Are they? Right? Because we know, and I've seen it firsthand, that corporate jobs do require a lot of masculine energy because you're in your planning, organization, sort of a little bit of control, right? Because you've got deadlines, maybe you're leading a team, etc. So that's a lot of masculinity that comes out in women. So with regards to that, I lost the question. What's the question?
Should they suppress their femininity?
Should they suppress their femininity? That's a very good question, because I don't think they should. But are they in a position to lead from a feminine energy? Or is the energy in Polish offices and Polish corporations still a bit masculine? What I'm seeing in Dubai, for example, there's a lot of courses and programs for female-led leadership. And I'm not sure how that situation looks in Poland right now. Is that a thing? Do people offer those female-led leadership programs? I think it's something that is fairly new.
Right.
And I'd be curious to see how that scene evolves here in Poland and how women can still be leading from that feminine place, not just the masculine.
Because the way I see it, from observing social media and normal life, it seems like there's a lot of this kind of, let's say, retreats and experiences, and people are more spiritual, becoming that way. But yet we still hear that women are suffering at work. They feel this unfairness, this injustice, and that's probably the leading cause of the burnout that you mentioned in the beginning. So, but this approach, from this holistic approach, I'm not sure. You tell me. Maybe we should do it here.
Maybe you should.
You have the experience.
From speaking to people who live here as well, it's a let's say fairly new topic.
Right.
When it comes to that, so I'd be very curious to see how that evolves in Poland and how corporations are promoting, let's say, that holistic lifestyle. As an example, So, for example, in Dubai, there was a company that I worked for. We had a 4-day week at the end of every month, and that was like a recharge weekend, right?
Interesting.
So 3 days every month at the end of the month. So you could plan your holiday, or you plan your staycation getaway. So I wonder, like, if practices such as this one exist in Poland, or if it's something that corporations would be willing to do, knowing that thanks to that, your staff and your employees recharge better, and then therefore they come back to work more motivated, more energized, and more productive.
Mm-hmm.
Because the probability of them sleeping better and just kind of recharging is so much higher. So that includes women and men, right?
Yes. Eva, you talk a lot about the imbalance between the masculine and feminine energy. What does that mean in the Polish context?
Mm-hmm. From my observations and from conversations with my friends here as well in Poland, I am noticing a little shift in terms of the masculinity in men and their femininity, and the masculinity in women and their femininity. So I'm noticing men, not all men, okay, we're not generalizing
of course,
all
we don't
men,
generalize,
but
yes.
Noticing from those conversations with my friends, especially my friends who are on dating apps, they're noticing a huge shift in how men perceive themselves or project themselves onto on dating apps, where they actually do what women used to do, which is, let's say, some fake photos, or staged photos, or just kind of like a little bit of that feminine energy, bringing that feminine energy, and women actually doing the opposite. So women are a bit more masculine these days, and that comes from because possibly that's probably because they hold high managerial positions, etc. So they're in their masculine energy. So I think from speaking to my friends again who are on those dating apps, they're noticing a huge shift in men being in their feminine and the girls being in their masculine.
Wow. So I think I can understand where your Portuguese friend come from, because I also, and I can openly say this, I don't think I've already said it many times, my last serious relationship failed because she was becoming controlling. I felt that. And I think it was a threat to my masculinity. I didn't feel good. But I know also I was, because I truly was burnt out in the true meaning of the word. It was the corona, and my business was failing. I didn't have any money. And I was like, and I just completely froze. And she had to step, which I respect. Yeah, she started doing this. But then the effect was very damaging. We couldn't save the relationship. And it was the end. So I do understand that.